So I'm here with my dear friend Ahrabella Heabe Lewis up in Painswick at her exhibition of paintings. So we thought we'd do this little impromptu video just to give you a feel for what Ahrabella's been doing. So you tell us about this painting, Ahrabella.
This painting is called Waltz, and I painted it 2 years ago in 2009, and it was part of an exhibition which was called Colours to Dance By. And what inspired me at that time was a glitter ball which was spinning, and it was throwing light off onto the walls, and I just loved the fact that it was moving and this big globe of light. And the reason it's called Waltz is because the blue I was trying to get the sort of serenity of dancing slowly. And that's the beginning of my circles. And from then I sort of moved on.
And how about this lovely red one?
This one, yeah, this is called Tango, and that's because it's red and passionate. And again, it's the glitter ball theme. And it has a completely different energy to Waltz. It's more dynamic, it's more assertive.
And these are more recent ones here?
These are recent ones, yes. These I did last year, 2010, and you can see there's a sort of similarity in the colours. Again, there's the reds, but the difference here, A, I'm focusing totally on the circle, and B, I'm incorporating found objects as collage. And this one I've got a bottle top and bits of foil. There's a little tiny ring there which I like in the centre, and it's got silver paint. This one I really like because it's sunlit memory, and the idea of the sanding disc is the sort of feeling and texture, grittiness of sand, and then the sort of nice creamy sunlight colours. And going through here, we've got the actual circle, and again they incorporate found objects. This one I've got a net for carrying fruit, Michelle. The titles of my work often come quite late. They come usually when a work's finished, but sometimes during the process of actually creating them. And this one I worked on about several times. It's had several incarnations before it landed.
What's this one called?
It's called Woodland Path.
Yeah.
And I was sort of the idea of walking through a forest and sort of the light shifting.
It's got a real mossy feel about it, isn't
Yes,
it?
that's exactly what I was after. That's a slightly plainer one, but it's still a circular one. It's liquid worlds, and that's the idea of just worlds sort of dissolving and coming into being at the same time.
And this one over here?
That's introspection. The idea of just when you go in, when you're thinking quietly and your own thoughts. Complete contrast is Days of Gold. The song by Kirsty MacColl was running through my mind, Days, while I was painting that one. I was thinking of the sort of sparkle, days that stick in your mind. That's affirmation. It's a bit of a joke because it's got a mirror in it. And you're always supposed to make affirmations to a mirror.
And this lovely blue one with the hubcap.
Yes, I think we are.
I like this one a lot.
Thank you. This one is, I found the wheel hub on the side of the road, and I just loved its shape, and I knew I wanted to put it into a painting. And the idea of this is the universe, and just sinking into the depths of the stars and the sky.
Okay.
Over here,
there's a green one here.
The green one, yeah. This one has actually got a broken frisbee in it, which I found on one of my walks across the common. And it's got the feeling of that was more spring-like and more zesty, whereas the one over there is much more introspective.
And this is another variation, this one over here.
Yeah, this is it's similar to Woodland Path, the one over there we saw, and it's again the idea of a forest. And there's a little touch of humour because I've put my bottle top is actually called Badgers.
Okay. Which came first, this one, and the green one, or this one over
They're
here?
pretty simultaneous actually.
Yeah.
A few months between them. But yeah.
And what's happening with this one?
This one's the thing of there's sort of dream. It's more the feeling of a dream that's sort of left with you when you wake up in the morning, and you've got that sort of intensity, and it doesn't quite make sense, but it's coherent at the same time.
Just trying to work out whether it was real or
Exactly.
not. Yeah.
And you have a sense of it's the feeling that you have when you've woken up and you've been somewhere quite mysterious in your nighttime travel.
What about these ones? These are some of my favourites. These here.
Yes, I'm really pleased with these. These are my planets. In fact, these three and those two over there are part of the planets, my planet series. I'm just exploring how the circle can represent all sorts of things. I mean, this one is Soldor, which is golden sun, and I wanted the idea of something glowing against a very dark background and sort of movement. Again, this one's it's got a sort of more brooding quality, but I like that. I like the feeling that it's quite intense, and it's got it's layered with silk and buttons and these little discs. And this one here...
Are they like moons, are they?
Yeah, like moons,
yeah.
Saturn's moons, that's right. And this has actually got association. I mean, they all have association for me, but I've actually got sand for my studio build here, so it's got a sort of personal association.
And is the one with the moons, is this more an earlier one, or were they all done at a similar sort of time?
These are all painted about the same time.
Yeah.
They're recent works. And this is where my work is going at the moment. It seemed to be these planets and spinning in space.
Yeah, these have a really strong three-dimensional quality and depth. These
thank
ones.
you. I wanted that. I was sort of looking for that. And the objects themselves are actually chosen quite carefully. I mean, I paint with paints on one side and objects on the other side, and I layer them in together. But the colour of that I knew was going to be dark purple, and I knew it was going to have silver in it as well, so the sort of two came together afterwards.
Yeah, they sort of remind me of portals, like something's coming to
That's
us
it, yes.
from another dimension. And
or you could be going into
Or you could be taken into a wormhole or something
exactly.
like that.
End up in space.
Ends up somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the objects themselves I find everywhere. I mean, I find them when I go walking and come back with what I call treasure, and everybody else calls rubbish, but I actually enjoy. Recently I've been clearing my mother's flat, and I've found lots of little things which at some point in the future would be incorporated into the paintings. It's a nice sense of continuity.
Well, it's got a lovely feel to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Okay.